facilitating resources. Don't put up visa requirements that are very demanding so that people can't come to your destination. Hospitality. When they get there, make sure they feel welcome. It's terrible when you get people come to a destination, they ask for instructions on the street, and people don't really give it in a willing manner. So try and make sure that people feel welcome. In Calgary, when I was involved with the tourism industry and for many years, we used to have a teacup that we would pass around, and on it had "Smile, you're a tourist attraction." And we gave one of these to every resident of the destination that we could find, so that every resident felt that they were part of making the destination a place to visit. So smile, you're a tourist attraction. Next, enterprise. You want to have a tourism industry that responds quickly when the needs of the market change. So it's when visitors want changes or they ask for something, they want to see a highly responsive tourism industry that is ready to meet their changing needs. So be entrepreneurial with respect to the needs of potential visitors. And finally, political will. This was one of the factors that we added later in the development of the model, but it was when we presented this to the many senior managers and we said, "Do you like the model?" They said, "It's very good. It seems to capture most of the factors that I have in mind, but one thing you missed is we have done all the things you said, but then our political masters did not support us." So you have to have a strong base of political support, political will, that will support your development initiatives and your promotional programs. So make sure that you don't forget about having your political masters on board with you, and that you have collaborative mechanisms so that everybody is working together. Now, what is involved in tourism policy? First of all, what we call system definition. You have to make sure that everyone knows who is part of the destination. So you have to define your destination very carefully and very comprehensively if you want everyone to be a player. Next, philosophy and values. You have to decide among yourselves as the residents of a destination what kind of tourism program or experience do we want to offer to the marketplace. Is it going to be strictly economically driven? Is it going to have economic dimensions? Or rather, is it going to have environmental dimensions? Is it going to have social and cultural dimensions? What kind of place do you want to be seen as? Once you have then agreed upon a philosophy for your destination, you need to formulate a consensus-based vision for your destination. A vision is simply a statement describing the kind of destination you want to be 10, 20, 30, 50 years out into the future. So what do we want to be? And then policy is going to help us get there. So a vision for the destination, a very critical aspect of success. Once you have a vision, you can then position yourself in the marketplace with respect to your competition, and you can develop a formal branding program that says this is the kind of experience we offer to the marketplace and that we promise we will deliver. The next dimension of policy is development. It's fine to have a vision and it's fine to have a philosophy, but you have to then undertake development processes to translate your vision into reality. So development is simply finding the people, the money, and the organizations to develop the destination in accordance with the vision that you have formulated. Next, you also have to take a close look at your competition. Who are they and how do we need to prepare to meet their competition? And who also are potential collaborators? Who might we find who would work with us to strengthen our appeal as a tourism destination? So you look at the competition, you look at collaborators as part of the policy formulation process. Next, you have an ongoing process of monitoring your success and your evaluation of how successful you actually are with respect to the goals you set out for yourselves. So you need to have an ongoing process that says, here's how well we are doing with respect to the goals we set out for ourselves. And then finally, you need to have an audit process in which you look at what you had hoped to achieve and where you are and how big is the gap and what do we need to do to remove that gap and achieve the actual performance goals we have set out for ourselves. So there are a number of different gaps that you can identify. They can be marketing gaps, they can be product development gaps, and others as well. Any related to any of the core resources and any of the supporting factors can be a gap. So that then is the policy planning and development process. That's fine. That sets the directions for your destination. Next, you need to ensure that it's fine to have good long-term goals, but you also have to manage your destination effectively on a day-to-day basis. So there are a number of areas of management that you need to ensure are performed effectively. They include, first of all, organization. Once you have this vision for yourself and you set the kind of brand you want to have for yourselves, you then need to set up an organization that will provide the leadership and the coordination for all your activities. This organization is referred to as a destination management organization, or a DMO. So that is traditionally, the DMO is something like Tourism Calgary is what we have in Calgary. In Toronto, I think it's probably Tourism Toronto, or in Vancouver, Tourism Vancouver, or it can be for the country. The Canadian Tourism Commission is the leading organization. Every country, every province, every state has a DMO that is responsible for the leadership and coordination of its tourism programs and policies. So you set up your organization, the first thing you need to do as a manager. Next, you need to market your destination. You need to promote to make sure that people are aware of your destination and that you have an effective competitive image. Thirdly, you need to ensure on an ongoing basis the quality of the service and the quality of the experience that people have while they're at your destination. So maintenance of quality is, again, a critical management objective. Fourthly, the information and research needs to be gathered both from the marketplace. You need to know what the marketplace wants, but you also need to provide information back to the marketplace and to the members of your tourism programs, your operating sectors. So information and research. You need to understand what's going on, and that falls under the monitoring as well. Next, human resource management. You need to ensure that you are constantly developing the kind of people you need to perform all the policy formulation and management activities that are required for the destination. And that's why So you have human resource management. As a tourism educator, that is where we play a very critical role, and we feel that our programs, our flagship program is our Bachelor of Hotel and Resort Management at the undergraduate level, but we feel that in 15 or 20 years, if we can keep these programs going, we will transform the nature of the industry by providing them with access to the kind of people that the tourism industry has traditionally not had access to. And we're very proud of the fact that we are part of that process. Now, there are many other sort of managerial and training programs that go on within the industry, and they are all important, but this aspect of human resource development is critical if tourism is to develop the ability to compete not only with other destinations, but with other industries, because there are other industries that are after the same kind of people that I feel should be in tourism. The next is finance and venture capital. You need to make sure that the industry has access to the kinds of funding that it requires for the development goals you have set out. Then you need to have a process of visitor management. You need to ensure that when visitors come, not only do they have a good experience, but that they are managed in a way that does not damage the destination itself. It's very important that we give them a good experience, but but make sure that their behaviors do not destroy the beauty which they have come to see. And that is part of a process which we call resource stewardship. Stewardship is simply making sure that we care for the destination that we have made so much effort to develop and invested so much of our time and resources in. So make sure that stewardship is an integral part of your ongoing management process. And then finally,